can love war and violence for the perfection they are, as much as you love a beautiful sunset, or inspiring music, or the touch of a woman's skin, that love becomes conditional, not unconditional, and acts just like another belief filter, as it was in Dr. Lipton's experiment. And if you try to see the world only through a love filter, you will miss everything else your infinite eye has created for you there. For the secret to true joy and lasting peace of mind is being able to see the complete picture and everything that's in it, and embrace and enjoy it all equally, without judgment or resistance. And there's no reason you can't do that when you understand that your own infinite eye is creating it all for you, as a gift to you, down to the smallest detail. So what I want to do now is take a very specific example we all encounter every day of our lives and see how these belief filters apply. And that example is money. In the U.S., if I go around and ask people what they believe about money, I get a lot of different answers. See if any of them might be something you believe as well. I have to earn money. I have to work for money. I can't afford even my basic needs. There's a limited supply of money available to me. Every time I spend money, the supply of money decreases. Nothing I really want is free. If I want more money, I have to work harder, or smarter, or deliver more value. I've got to have a plan to make money, invest it wisely, and build wealth over time. If I have money, I have to protect it, or I could lose it. I have to be responsible with my money. I must be fully, totally, and truly committed to making money. There's never enough money. There's something dirty about money and those who have a lot of it. Money is the root of all evil. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. More money is better. Money doesn't grow on trees. Some have the gift of making money and others don't. Money doesn't come easy. You can't have money and be spiritual. Money comes from out there, and you have to go out there to get it and bring it in here to you. The world's financial system, the way it is set up and run by a few international bankers, is rigged against me, and a normal person stands no chance to make money. And the one that pushes my button so much, I've tried to use the secret and the law of attraction and visualization and meditation and other self-help techniques to manifest money, but they didn't work. So I must be doing something wrong. There must be something wrong with me. Maybe you have even more beliefs you can add to this list. All the statements on that list are beliefs people have about money, stories they make up to explain why they think they don't have enough money, or can't make more money, or in many ways feel like they are a victim of the money game. If any of these are true for you, and if Dr. Lipton is correct, these beliefs are acting as a filter on your perceptions and directly influencing your relationship with money. But are any of these beliefs about money actually true? Well, yes, they can all be true in the first part of the human game, because they all lead to more and more limitations and restrictions. But as we now know, the second part of the human game is exactly the opposite of the first part, and none of these beliefs is true in the second part. Not one. My favorite is, money doesn't grow on trees, which is what my parents told me all the time. But it's not true either. money does grow on trees. Money is made of paper, which is made from trees. It's amazing what beliefs we are taught, as Bruce Lipton said, and then carry with us the rest of our lives, never questioning whether they are true or not. The truth is, you don't have to work for or earn money. There is an unlimited supply of money available. Whenever you spend money, the supply of money does not decrease. There is always enough money for any experience your infinite I wants you to have. More money is not necessarily better. Money does come easy. You can have money and be spiritual. Money doesn't come from out there. You cannot be a victim of the financial system or the international bankers. It is not your fault when The Secret and the law of attraction and other self-help techniques you try to use to manifest money don't work. Do you believe all of that? Or any of it? Let's talk about why it's true. First of all, where is money created, and who creates it? Money is part of the hologram, like everything else in our holographic universe, and is created from the field by choosing specific wave frequencies and downloading them to a human brain. And the one who is choosing those frequencies from the field is your infinite I. It is your infinite I that creates the money you have and no one else. Not you, not the central banks, not the international banking cartel. Interestingly enough, though, the central banks and the international banking cartel use exactly the same method to create money as your infinite I does, out of thin air. But that's beside the point. If an infinite I chooses certain specific experiences from the field it wants its player to have, wouldn't it also give its player everything it needs to have those experiences as well? Does it make sense that any infinite I would want its player to have a certain experience and then not give it everything it needs to have that experience, including all the money required for the experience? Where else is the player going to get the money and other things it needs for an experience if its infinite I doesn't create them, since the player has no power to create anything itself on this side of the field? If we go back to our kids' video games, like Minecraft that we saw before, the person working the controls has to make sure its player has everything it needs for the experience it is about to have, like weapons, tools, money, energy and power credits, and so on. In this example we're going to see, the experience is to collect sand from the ocean. So the controller is going to make sure the player. In exactly the same way, if your infinite I wants you to have an experience, it's going to have to provide you with everything you need for that experience, including the money. Can't you just picture an infinite I at the field, shuffling things in and out of the infinite inventory, choosing the frequencies for what you need? On the other hand, if you want to have an experience that your infinite I decides it doesn't want for you at that time, it won't provide what you need, especially the money, no matter how hard you pray or visualize or try to manifest it. But let's say your infinite I has decided on an experience for you and wants to get the money to you that you need. How does it do that? This is where your beliefs come in. All the beliefs a player has about money have one major effect. They limit its infinite I when it tries to get that money to the player. In other words, the player is causing its own limitations and restrictions by walking around with all these beliefs in its head. What are the three basic ways most players today think they can get money? Earning or working for it, investing it, or winning the lottery. There are a couple other minor ways, like borrowing it, inheriting it, stealing it, begging for it, and so on. But if you have the belief that you basically have to earn or work for all the money you receive, your infinite eye's options are very limited in getting the money to you that you need for an experience. Let go of that belief, and you make its job a lot easier. Let me give you an example from my own life. I had an invitation to travel from Portugal to deliver these holographic universe workshops to a group in Berlin. My hosts were going to pay for my transportation, but they wanted me to buy the ticket, and they would reimburse me when I arrived. I wasn't sure this trip was what my infinite eye wanted me to do, although it excited me very much to think about it. So I went online and found that an airplane ticket would cost €250. Then I looked at my bank account, and I had $96.31 to my name. Obviously, I couldn't buy the ticket then, and I still didn't know whether I would go. I went to sleep, and when I woke up the next morning, an extra $250 I had not expected had been deposited in my bank account. And here's the picture of my bank statement to prove it, although it's hard to read. I took this screenshot of my bank account because I figured no one would believe me if they couldn't see the evidence. I will admit that $250 is not exactly the same as €250, but still, I now had enough money to buy the ticket and confirmation that my infinite eye wanted me to make the trip. The point is that I did absolutely nothing to earn or work for that $250. I did nothing to try to make it happen. I did nothing at all. I went to sleep. The money just appeared in my bank account overnight, because I no longer had the belief that it couldn't. That has happened time and time again as I have applied this model in my life. My infinite eye has always provided the money for whatever experience it wants me to have, but not necessarily for whatever experience I want to have. And that money has most often come from very unexpected sources that I could not have imagined or created myself. So I now have complete trust through personal experience that my infinite eye can create money for me out of thin air. But I'm not yet at the point where I can just hold out my hand and have money appear, like Sai Baba did with vibhuti and jewelry. That would still freak me out. Yet I know it's possible if I could let go of my fears about that as well. I could give you lots of examples from my own life like this, but let's just do a couple more short ones from other people. A friend of mine and his friend were in Monte Carlo, and they suddenly had a very exciting idea to go to the casino. My friend had just been to the cash machine and gotten 3 €100 notes, and he and his friend knew that was all he had in his wallet. But they found out it was a €500 minimum to gamble, so they decided to pool their money and see if they had enough. My friend took out his wallet and counted one and then a second €100 note. But the third one was a €500 note. My friend and his friend looked at each other in amazement. Both of them knew my friend only had what he had just withdrawn, 3 €100 notes. So they believed this wasn't possible. And right before their eyes, the €500 note changed back into a 100 euro note. A woman owed her bank $10,000 for a loan she had taken out. She got a bank statement saying her balance was zero. She immediately called the bank and told them they had made a mistake. They agreed, and the balance she owed was restored to $10,000. Another woman had a $30,000 mortgage on her house. She also received a statement from the bank that her balance was zero. She expressed great appreciation to her infinite I and went on about her business. And if you have a moral or ethical problem with that, I would point out that that's a belief system as well, which you might want to consider letting go of. If you were in a virtual reality machine and you watched your bank balance go from $100 to $100,000 in 10 seconds, would you protest and say, "But I didn't earn or work for that money"? Would you call the bank and tell them they made a mistake? Of course not, because you know it's a virtual reality, and the money's not real. It's just created out of thin air by a computer program. Well, guess what? Now we know the holographic universe is a virtual reality, and money is created out of thin air by our infinite eyes. And it might be wise to start letting go of our old beliefs that make it harder to get that money to us. Am I suggesting that you don't need to do anything in order to have money? That you don't have to earn or work for it, for example? Yes, that's exactly what I'm suggesting. About all a player needs to do in order to receive money from its infinite I is get its beliefs out of the way about how that money can come to it. That was the one good thing about The Secret. It allowed people to let go of the belief that a BMW could never just show up in their driveway. But I do want to add that if you feel truly excited about doing something that brings you total joy to do, that might also mean some money would come your way, then by all means do it. Follow that excitement, and maybe there will be money coming to you as a result, and maybe not. Just don't do anything or try to make something happen for the money. Do it for the pure excitement and fun and joy. And remember, all the money you have ever received in your life came from your infinite I. There is no other possible source for it. All that's required for you to have money is for your infinite I to want you to have it and create it for you, and for you to be able to receive it without blocking it with your beliefs. That's it.